clear color.
glaze
No,
will do wonders for you.
yeah, I'm gonna do one on Chad right now. Look, boom, Chad, send me $500 because I just did a clear color on you.
What's up, profitable stylists? Here we go. This is how we're starting this week with Bernard and I talking about clear glaze toners on hair, which for some reason to this day he still doesn't believe is a thing and that it works.
What do you
We've
mean?
got
I
a
have clear color on right now. I'll put it all over my whole body.
we've
Don't I
got
look better?
special guest with us, Chad White, who is the director of education from Zenagen, which is an amazing, amazing product line. Oh God, what is happening with our stream? Ooh,
I
we
don't
got
know.
technical difficulties already. Yeah, this is how we're going. Hey, Chad, what's going on, buddy?
Good morning.
So,
Glad to be here.
What is happening with this stream?
so Chad, can people hear us on YouTube?
They can hear us. I don't
I
know what
hope
the
so.
screen is doing. All kinds of weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Don't
let's
worry about
let's go with
it.
Chad. You wanna do a little. What's your elevator pitch when somebody at a party says, "Hey, I'm so and so. Who are you?" And you're like, "I'm Chad. I do what with your life?" What do you say?
Well, I tell them I'm the director of education for Zenagen Hair Care, and we are a botanically based hair restoration system. We use ingredients like a green tea delivery system, saw palmetto, red clover, aloe, and brahmi to literally bring all those anti-inflammatory and as well as DHT blocking ingredients down to where the blood supply meets the follicle, literally surrounding and protecting the entire ecosystem of each hair strand.
Wow, wow.
And we
That's
do
way
it
more
completely.
important than I'm just
Yeah,
a hairdresser.
we do it completely chemically free. There's no hormones, no medications. Everything's completely botanical, completely safe for even pregnant and nursing mothers to use.
Wow, now that's different.
So I'm gonna say it this way: I have been a active and still actively user of the Zenagen products, and I've been using it. I don't know, 5 years now, maybe 6 years now, something like
Mhm.
that. Bernard is going to be new. This is going to be his first time introducing to Zenagen. So I'm just
So
saying it
listen to
out
what.
there. I'm a fanboy.
Yeah. So I'm actually looking into a few different hair growth products right now because I'm 53 years old. I know people look at me and they're like, "You're ridiculous." They get mad at me. And I remember in my 30s doing consultations for 50-year-olds with this much hair and say, "You don't need you don't need more hair. You got." But I know now. I used to have more hair than anybody I ever met. And when I looked at my hairline like this, you couldn't see scalp in there. It was all hair. Now when I shampoo, hey guys, y'all see those burn marks on my forehead?
What do you do
That
to
is
yourself?
chemical relaxer. So
Oh,
I
you
had the
did give
mullet.
yourself. You gave yourself the relaxer.
I got rid of the mullet. I was gonna color the gray. I had my son doing my hair yesterday, and I said, "You've never done a relaxer before." He goes, "You mean a perm, Dad?" I said, "Well, some people call it a perm, but I'm talking about a thio relaxer. I want to get my hair to lay flatter on the side so I can grow it out a little and it doesn't go straight out with this thick, coarse hair." So he puts it on. It's his first time ever, but before the cut, he shampooed my hair. He made all my skin sensitive, and then he's pasting it down on my forehead. I'm not thinking. It's the back of my neck is burnt. I got a little bit of chemical burn. I feel like a beauty school hairdresser right now. After 30 years of doing hair, I feel like a newbie learning the hard way. We did it all wrong. He just slapped it on with his hands. He's combing it through, and I felt the comb hitting. But when he went, I said, "Okay, I'm starting to burn a little. We need to get this off of my head." And then when he goes to shampoo, the water hits my forehead. It felt like needles gone in. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting these. I put Neosporin on my scalp. It's not too bad. It could have been worse, but I got little blisters throughout my head. And so I thought, I'm not starting with any hair growth product today. I need to heal for a couple of
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
Chad, would
You,
this be a
you
situation where the serum would help him?
absolutely. The thickening hair serum is really a cocktail of our most powerful ingredients, whether it be our anti-inflammatory ingredients of aloe and brahmi. It also contains pumpkin enzyme, which is incredibly restorative and reparative to the skin. It utilizes rice protein as well, and that helps balance moisture between the hair and the scalp, promoting an all-over healthier scalp environment.
Well,
So,
See?
and the pure extracted aloe that's in our serum would probably elicit some sort of ooh or inappropriate moaning when it hit your scalp because it would feel so nice. That aloe is just really, really soothing.
That is true. I have psoriasis on my scalp, and when I have flare ups and when I start getting the bad itch, I put the serum. It does make you moan.
Yeah.
Like
feels
a
that
relief.
good, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
it feels really good.
So
I
Eddie,
actually, yeah, I've been lucky enough for the last 2 years. I haven't had to use any of my steroid-based psoriasis
Yes.
medication since I've
Yes.
been using Zenagen. My scalp is the clearest it's ever been in my whole life.
wow, that's exciting. That is exciting. So Eddie and Chad, I guess, do you guys? I know a lot of hair growth products out there will do a picture or a scope or a camera. Do you recommend or utilize in any way a little like take a picture of a spot and then a few months later take a picture of that spot to see if a person's actually
Oh, okay.
gaining hair?
We we don't really do like the really close up cameras. And if you go to any of our social media or anything like that, all of our before and after photos are user generated. We don't pay any models or compensate anyone for their before and after photos. Everything that you see on our website is all user driven from stylists and their clients across the country. So we're pretty proud of that. So well, it would be cool to have those issues. We really do feel like those less than perfect pictures from the salon, in Iowa are a little bit more impactful than a really high gloss, super
Yeah,
professionally finished, staged paid model situation.
Yeah.
right. Like
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that was
yeah.
Mark Steele.
yeah, they're all pondering something deeply off in the distance while they.
Yeah.
While
Right.
they're
and it's always to the left. There's always something to the
Yeah.
left. At the salon, I do the same thing. We snap a picture of the client's scalp just with their own phone. I don't even do it with mine. I just use their own phone. And then 3 months later, we snap another picture and we just do a collage thing like you do in your phone app. And we just put the two photos side by side. And I ask them, I says, look, do you notice a difference in your hair? Yes. Okay. Do you want to keep using it? Yes. Okay.
I was telling my wife,
The sales pitch is so easy.
I said we should get this. We should get one of those little cameras or a scope and get the close-up picture. She said, "I don't need that. I have an iPhone." I said,
I have
"Well,
an iPhone.
I actually thought the same thing. I'm going to take a close-up picture right in that front there, and then see if I can still see that scalp
Mhm.
later."
I'll tell you this way, and Chad will probably explain it better than I'll be able to explain it. At the salon, well, here, you're experiencing it yourself now. When a client is not feeling good or they're becoming self-conscious, when they're starting to get into that shedding phase, where they're starting to notice the density of their hair is not as thick as it used to be, they don't give a flying anything. Like if you take that scope and say, "Oh, madam, you have
We're not supposed to
300."
curse, but Eddie has trouble not cursing.
I didn't get to have my Tourette's before we went live, so I'm built up a little bit. But yeah, you can't say, "Oh, I used the scope and I measured 373,000 strands. You have 25% gain." She's gonna look at herself in the mirror and say, "I don't notice a."
Mhm.
I
Difference.
really didn't get a chance to cuss this morning before we
Yeah, I
went
don't
live.
know the difference.
Yeah, I don't notice the difference. So they don't care about the scope. They don't care about the numbers. They only care when they look in the mirror or when they pull their hair in the ponytail. They only care if what they can feel. That's the only thing they
So
care
Chad,
about.
tell us what is the like we don't have pictures of things, I don't think right now. What is the sales process look like or the use process? Like when you talk to a client and they say I'm a little thin, what are you giving them, selling them? What are they using at home? How many products and what are the steps?
Okay. We're a pretty small system. We total only have 12 SKUs. So right now we have our Revolve system, and we have a men and women's formula and one shared conditioner. And then we also have our Evolve system, and that's one shampoo, one condition. I'll start with our Revolve system. Now, our Revolve system is a system that you want to start your clients out if they're coming to you with any sort of concern regarding excessive shedding, health related issues. Maybe they've had surgery, postpartum, anything like that. So anybody who's coming to you concerned that their hair is not what it should be should start on the Revolve system. And we're going to recommend that they shampoo their hair every other day. and that shampoo sit on for 5 minutes. And that is the treatment right there. Our green tea delivery system and all of our therapeutic botanicals all exist in the shampoo. So that's going to sit on your scalp for 5 minutes, and then you're going to rinse that off. And our conditioner is actually aloe-based. So it's going to be very calming and soothing to the scalp after all of that intense green tea stimulation. So between the two, you get about 85% of the treatment out of the shampoo and about 15 to 20% out of the conditioner. And it's all natural. You know, you don't have to worry about medications, side effects. If you stop using our product, you don't have a dramatic or really fast shed cycle. It's going to take a while for those problems that cause the hair loss to build back up in your scalp. So it's all in all just a lot more gentle, safer, and, you know, really there's no risk because, you know, worst case scenario, you're going to have a healthier scalp that's going to be growing healthier hair. So there's really nothing to lose.
So mostly a shampoo, a conditioner, and so that you said 12 SKUs. Obviously, there's I noticed a shampoo for men and women and a conditioner, and then I'm guessing the same thing on that other side.
It's only 2.
What are
On the Evolve, we just have shampoo and condition. We don't have a gender specific formula. And then we have a couple of stylers, and then we also have one real superstar product, and that's our thickening hair serum. And our thickening hair serum is really everything that's magical about the Revolve system, plus a few more ingredients and an easy to use daily, completely oil-free scalp serum. So the scalp serum, yes, completely oil-free.
I assumed it was oil for sure.
Yeah, every hairdresser in the world, we hear the word oil or hear the word serum, and immediately our brain goes, this is an oil. And this is a completely water-based serum. So these clients can put this on their hair every night if they'd like to, you know, because we all have those clients who love their dry shampoo. So they're going to try to shampoo once, maybe twice a week tops. And so for those clients, when they do shampoo, we're going to want them to use our Revolve system. And then on the days that they're not shampooing, we're going to ask them to apply the scalp serum so that our DHT blocking and anti-inflammatory ingredients can stay at peak levels in their scalp.
I can tell that Eddie likes the serum because he was smiling the whole time you were talking about serum.
Yes. It feels so good. It just feels so freaking good. It's like, I'll put it on throughout the day.
You better send me some right away, one of you guys.
I'll send you. I'll send you. Yeah.
Yeah. And our serum is really great, you know, especially for clients if you have clients with different hair types who perhaps are wearing braided down protective hairstyles, having full hairpiece installs done. They need those anti-inflammatory ingredients to protect them from traction alopecia or excess shedding from really tight hair pieces, extensions, and stuff like that. And that's where I feel like we really shine on protecting those clients with having that anti-inflammatory benefit in their scalp so they don't experience the excess shedding when those braids, extensions, or hair pieces are taken out.
So forgive me if I use the wrong words. I am very uneducated in this field. And I think other hairdressers that don't know, or even clients that might see this that want the product, probably will have the same question. I might be a little confused on the two different products to start with. One sounds like it might be a little more potent or less, and so I'm trying to see where the Revolve fits. Is it a stronger or a less strong than the other system? And what's the difference?
Okay, so the Revolve system is a system that we're going to send our clients to that need to regrow or reclaim hair they've lost through traumatic shedding.
Okay.
So we're going to get them, and we're going to get those hair follicles growing back in as thick and healthy and as robust as possible. And then after at least no less than 90 days, you could transition those guests to the Evolve system. Now, the Evolve system is a system that you're going to enjoy the same. It's got the green tea delivery system. It's got the saw palmetto, the red clover, the aloe, the brahmi, all those therapeutic ingredients. But it also has the added ingredient of alpine willow herb. So once we get all that hair growing in nice and healthy, that alpine willow herb comes in there with the rest of the botanicals and actually causes the cellular matrix of your hair follicle to increase production by up to 40%. Which is a pretty cool thing because, you know, for years when we take our clients back to the shampoo bowl, they jokingly say, "Hey, are you putting fertilizer on my hair to make it grow faster?" And with Evolve, we literally can say, "Yes, yes, we are,"
Yes.
and I will sell it to you, and you're going to use it at home.
Oh,
The Evolve system is kind of it's a really great way for clients or excuse me for stylists to really boost their income in the course of a year, because if you can get 60% of your clients that are wearing extensions and having color work done, and you can get their hair to grow 40% faster, which I don't know many clients that would complain about that. But
right.
if you can get 2 to 3 more visits a year out of your existing client base, just because they need more maintenance, you're going to increase your bottom line without ever having to train a new client how to act in your chair.
So,
You know,
when people ask me, does this stuff really work? Do you really like it? I say to them, no, it's freaking annoying. I have to color my hair every 2 weeks because it grows so freaking fast.
So revolve is like regrow. Evolve is like the maintenance, kind of, right?
yes. Yeah, so I tell people in classes revolve to regrow and reclaim, and evolve to help your clients evolve into a new style fast.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice. Okay,
your hair starts growing really, really fast.
interesting.
Oh yeah.
And so then, did we miss anything? There were 12 SKUs, and we've got through the serum. Were there other SKUs that we haven't talked about yet?
There
We
is,
have,
but real quick, Chad. Oh, your camera. Did we lose him?
can you hear me?
We
Yeah,
hear
your
you, but we
camera
don't see
turned
you
off.
anymore.
Huh. I That's weird. I didn't touch a single thing.
It's coming back. It
There we
might
go.
just
You're coming
be
back
the
on.
Wi-Fi connection. We see you now.
There we go.
Before
I don't
talk
know. It must
about,
be. It keeps shutting off. I don't know what's
It's
going
all
on.
right. We can still hear you. So ask a
Okay.
question. Eddie.
yeah, before how you say, now I lost my train of thought. Oh, before you talk about the retail products,
Mhm.
last week, Bernard, if you recall, you were talking about when when an event occurs, a traumatic event occurs to the system due to health or physical impact or something like that, it doesn't manifest until a few months later. And then people start realizing they're getting excessive shedding, and
Right.
that's traumatic alopecia. It's not, traction or androgenetic or anything else like that. So actually, Chad can speak to this. The Zenagen products will help curb some of that. And then if you don't mind explaining it, I like the way you explained the difference between when a traumatic event occurs in the body and how long that takes for the cycle to manifest.
So you want Chad to talk to
No,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure who you were wanting to talk
Me
to about
neither.
that. Yeah.
I'm just excited.
so-
I'm excited to hear about Zenagen.
Because we know as stylists that our clients share with us lots of things, and it can take up to a year and a half, for surgery for all of those heavy metals to get worked out through the system from the anesthesia. Childbirth, postpartum hair loss can start anywhere from 3 to 7 months after the birth of the child. It really is sometimes quite amazing how long the body can hang on to the hair after a traumatic event, just to let it fall out when you've completely forgotten that it happened. So a lot of times when we're talking to clients about hair loss, we really may have to ask them to really dig back 18 to 24 months before we can really get to the root cause of that hair loss. And whether that's medically, a medicine they started taking that they didn't think, or maybe they've developed a thyroid condition that they're not aware of. All of those things can really be, important things that you really almost have to put like your sleuth cap on to really ask those important questions to get to the bottom of why that happened.
It's and men are worse than women, because I was at a convention not too long ago, and the lady, it's another hair growth product the lady was talking about, and she said when you're doing a consultation with a man as opposed to a woman knows the exact day she lost the first hair in the process, and she can probably figure out what started it. She said all the men say it just started happening, and she says she asked them to bring pictures, and the best place for her to do her research is social media, usually Facebook for an older man, because they'll have the dates with the pictures and you can kind of see where they were starting to lose their hair, what might have started happening. And then you can go back, like you're saying, 3 to 6 months before that. And the images they possibly posted will give you a rough idea of what they were doing in their life, what might have happened. They'll have some stimulus of what sickness or change might have happened during that time. But men, they don't have a good idea of dates, she said when she's doing her consultation.
I can attest to that one. I have no idea what day or time it is.
Yeah. And that, that, and I think that speaks to a lot of the fact that men, I think, are typically just resigned to the fact that it's inevitable for some people,
yes.
That no matter what they do, my dad, my grandpa, my uncle, whoever it was, it's in my family, so right. It's really, a lot of men think it's inevitable, so they don't even think about it.
Right. But not
right.
liked.
Right. And with the men's Revolve system, it has a really hefty dose of saw palmetto as one of the lead ingredients. So it's got a really strong DHT blocker that our green tea delivery system then pulls down. So it helps clear out the sebaceous gland, gets that oil from not being so thick and water resistant, so that follicle can stay at its nice, full, and robust size.
I want to point out, I hope people are realizing you keep referencing ingredients.
Yes.
Natural ingredients. You have not once said anything chemical, anything steroid, anything. That is the power of Zenagen too.
Yeah.
It's that nutraceutical base. Is that saying that right?
Yeah, we're a vegan system, so everything is take the best things that Mother Earth can give us, and we apply the best science that we can buy to get those ingredients processed in a way that leaves us at a purity and potency level that's at or exceeding medical grade with our botanicals.
And then being water-based, the retail line, then now we can really start talking about the retail line, because I think that really is important to say. No, it's like, Bernard, you don't understand. Once you start using this stuff, it really opens up your whole freaking mind. It opens up your whole world, because the hair starts getting thicker. The cuticle itself, or the hair itself, starts getting stronger, right? And then they start getting new growth, and they're like, oh, I got a bunch of peach fuzz. They think it's breakage. And I'm like, no, dude, that's hair growth. You're starting to get new growth, right. So it's really powerful stuff, man. It's wild.
So talk about the retail or the other product.
Yeah, we have it's a nice and tight, compact retail line. We have a leave-in conditioner that we call Repairical Spray. It is an all-in-one, it'll save your day. It is a detangling spray. It contains UVA, UVB protectant. There's ingredients to help preserve your hair color. There's ingredients in there to be anti-inflammatory, to help lay that cuticle down nice and tight, and also benefit the scalp. So it's just a further continuance of our dedication to providing pure and clean, botanically based products that are also very therapeutic and helpful, not only to the scalp, but the hair as well.
That does sound right.
Yeah. And it's really nice. One of my favorite uses for it is when you get those little kids in the salon, or those really, really blonde clients, and you get that hair wet, and the end of those hairs just stick together because that cuticle's all wide open there. You can apply this Repairical spray on those, and it seals that cuticle down and makes the hair just really combable. And it's a great, as we're going into the spring break season, pool season, it's one of those that should be in the beach bag. It should be in your pool bag. Anytime that you're getting in and out of the water, you're going to want to give yourself a mist of the Repairical spray, just to protect your hair and your scalp.
To avoid your hair turning this color.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't need any pool hair. And then after Repairical spray, we've got an amazing mousse volume foam. One of the great things about our volume foam is the buildability of hold with it. If you've got somebody who doesn't like a lot of product, but she needs a little lift and a bounce, 1, maybe 2 pumps is going to be all the mousse she needs. But if you've got one of those serious mother of the grooms, sharp bob, she wants the fullness and the shape to last all day, like Sally Fields and Steel Magnolia. She wants that brown football helmet. So you can get with 4 or 5 pumps huge volume, texture, and buildup in their hair all with one product. So it can take you from bouncing and behaving and swinging to that hair's not moving in a hurricane, all in one bottle, which I
We
really
have
like.
hurricanes down here.
Okay,
So,
yes.
so now that we're getting into the retail products, and if there's more, let me know. But I want to. It made me think. We're saying retail as if there's some only in salon use products. Am I making a leap here? Is there a part of the line that is recommended for only the stylist to use on the client in the salon as a treatment kind of thing on a regular basis, or are all of the products for both or one or the other? Do you guys hear where I'm going with this?
Yeah, we absolutely, everything that we sell and make is for in salon or at home use. We don't do any sort of gatekeeping where we would, you can really only get the top tier benefits of our product line if you come into the salon once a week and get XYZ treatment. We really understand that treatment for hair loss needs to be as simple as possible. And that's why our treatment is just a shampoo and condition. And if you really want to crank it up a notch from there, you can work the serum into your daily routine. So our goal is to really just keep it as simple as possible, because we know as human beings, we don't typically like overcomplicated things.
Right.
Especially as a
Oh,
guy,
that's
if I
Bernard
had to
right
use
there.
if I had to use a multi-step system, I'd be 3 days in and be like, well, I'm done with that. I got to move on because that's too much. But a shampoo and condition every other day, let it sit for 5 minutes. Just about everybody can handle that.
I've got another brand, multi-step products, all in a box on my kitchen counter right now, and I've delayed 3 days looking into it because I'm looking at 6 products that, in my head right now, I'm thinking I've got to use 6 products every day. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't understand it right, but already I'm liking the simplicity of this. You're right, because I'm looking at this other one thinking, one is a vitamin, and I'm thinking, I know some people take biotin vitamins, and it can be helpful, so maybe that'll be good. But then I see a shampoo, conditioner, and then there's a few more, and I'm thinking, when do I use these? How often? Is it once or twice a day? I'm shampooing my hair twice a day now. Would I use it just the one time or both times? So already the complication has me delaying the start of it. So yeah, I do like the simplicity.
And not only with simplicity, like I get asked in classes quite often, like, how are we at Zenagen different from the other hair regrowth or hair restoration systems that may rely on a medicated aspect or a chemical aspect?
I was going to tell you.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think these other products have minoxidil in it, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think the general public thinks like, oh, that's Rogaine, or yes, that grows hair back, doesn't it? I don't know for sure, but that's what we think.
And you know what, and I'm not going to knock those products because they've existed for a long time. They clearly have a fan base and people who enjoy them and enjoy the results they get, and wonderful for them. But I like to use the analogy of a campfire when I compare us to other brands that use medicated or chemically based systems.
Okay.
So imagine there's 2 campfires next to each other, and the symptom and hair loss is the flame. So the medicated systems come in and they put the flame out and they find a workaround to get the hair to grow, but they don't do anything about the wood and the embers and the debris that caused the fire in the first place. Those are all still there. So when you stop using that system, immediately within 48 hours, you can go into a shed cycle and lose the hair you gained and some of the hair that you hadn't lost yet. And again, I'm not knocking them. It's just the way that science works.
Right.
But with our system, when we come in, yes, we remove the flame, we put the flame out, we get the hair to start growing, but we also remove the wood, the embers, and the debris that caused the fire to exist in the first place. So if you stop using a Zenagen system, say you're using Zenagen for 2 years, you can expect it to take 6 months to a year for your hair to fully revert back to what it was before you started using the Zenagen system, which is kind of like a fail-safe for our system. So if you stop using it and 2 months in, you're like, oh, Jesus, I got some shedding. I'm seeing a little bit more real estate up here, whatever it is, you can jump right back into our system and stop it where it's at.
Nice. And that is true. That has always been the problem with Rogaine in the past. And so any product using minoxidil, I remember even talking about this product with the lady who sells it. She said, now, Bernard, if you start seeing growth, you can't stop using it. I said, well, that's all of them, isn't it? I didn't realize that your product worked in that way. That's very, very interesting and way more marketable, actually.
Yeah. And it really and the fact that you're not going to launch into an immediate and dramatic shed cycle right away is nice as well. Because, there are people out there who have spontaneous health issues, or they've had a child or a surgery, and their hair loss is not a lifelong issue for them. So, there's a way that they can come off of Zenagen. And if they notice shedding pickup, they can get back on it as a regular shampoo and conditioner user. Or they could just decide to work the scalp serum into their weekly routine and then enjoy whatever their favorite shampoo and condition is on top of, and then just be able to use the serum.
Yeah, it's really just the frequency of use. It's not that it's a certain amount of time, or it's not that, you gotta be stuck on it or something like that. It's just, can you wash your hair 3 times a week? If you can at least do that much, this is a potential use for you.
It should happen about 3 times a week.
Yeah, we do suggest every other day or 3 times a week. But, like I said, we know that we have clients that are using the dry shampoo. They're going 4 or 5 days between shampoos. And, we're not going to get, especially if they're wearing extensions, they're not shampooing every other day, because that's considerable amount of work for them to do their hair. Right. So that's where our serum comes in. So they can come in, if they shampoo on Friday, the other days of the week, they can put the serum in their trouble spots or a global application and still enjoy all the benefits as if they were using the Revolve system every other day.
Have we missed any product?
We do have a couple more stylers. We have a densifying cream, and it's got a rich formula that contains baobab and coconut. So your clients that have finer, thinner hair, but perhaps a coarser texture, will really enjoy this as a blowout cream. But I can't stress enough, less is more. About the size of an M&M on wet hair is typically all you need. It's also great on dry hair to soften curls, refresh, tame frizz and flyaways. We also have a flexure paste. It's a styling puck. It's a moldable paste, stays soft and touchable, never gets crunchy or flaky. I'm trying to think if there's any. I think that's it. I think I got them.
There's the scary product that you guys have too. The eyelash, the eyelash serum.
Oh
yeah. Carmelina
attacked
me, Bernard. You have no idea how scary that was. Okay. So I
forgot about the lash serum. I was hung up on hair there for a minute.
Yeah, the lash serum. So we get the lash serum in, and I'm like, oh, Carmelina, here, take this. My wife. I'm like, here, Carmelina, take this, use this, see if this works for you. Try it out. She's like, oh, what do I do? I'm like, oh, just put a line underneath.
Rub it all over your eyeballs.
Yeah, just rub it in there, right? Within 2 or 3 weeks, I'm sitting in bed. She comes flying into the bedroom, jumps onto the bed. She's this close in my face, and she's just doing this.
So far.
Yeah, but no. Then she starts going like this, and she's just blinking her eyes. And I go, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, she's just sitting there. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, look at my eyelashes. Look at my eyelashes. I'm like, that is not what I want to be looking at, right? Yeah, right. It was the scene was getting set up really good until she started doing this thing. And I'm like, what is happening? She goes, look, my eyelashes, the serum's working. I'm like, this was the excitement? Was this? I wish I was serum right now. I've never been so jealous of a product before. Like, what the hell? Of the serum. No,
she wanted you, runs to you, jumps on you in bed. So how do you use the serum on your lashes?
It's a daily use serum. We do always recommend, like our scalp serum and our lash serum, we do suggest that you put it on at night, because that's when our bodies are most restorative and reparative. However, any way that you can put it in, the scalp serum on your scalp or the lash serum on your lashes, whenever you can get it on your skin is when it's appropriate. We have a really great lash serum. It only has 8 ingredients. One of them's water. So it's very non-irritating. You don't have to worry about it changing the color of your iris or staining the skin around your eyes any darker. Uses, again, all natural ingredients, different ones that are in the shampoo because we have to use different ingredients that close to the eye. But after about 3 weeks, you should start to notice that your lashes are going to be encouraged to grow thicker, longer, and stronger. We use
She noticed.
Yeah.
So are you putting it on the lash and it's just soaking up into the skin, or are you putting it on the actual lid?
We do actually recommend that you want to put our lash serum as if you want to envision you're putting it on the skin above the root structure of your lashes. So we don't want it to try to soak up the lash itself into the follicle. We want it to soak down through the skin. And that the lash serum is going to do that for them. And we use a ethically and renewably sourced coral-derived extract that's grown on a farm in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
For our extract, there's a Chinese herb, curcumin platyclade, in there to help inhibit DHT production. There's ingredients to stimulate keratin production, excessive, so you can get longer length. It's just a really simple, easy to use serum. Doesn't cause any itching, stinging, or burning to the eyes. It goes on and it just feels like you're putting cool water across your lash line. And it comes in 2 sizes, a 4 ml and a 2 ml tube. So it'll last you 4 to 5 months with the 4 ml tube and 2 to 3 months with the 2 ml tube. You can also use it on your lashes. Because if you're, I graduated high school in 1990. So if you're of my generation, the ladies of my generation had some really dark times with their brows in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s. It was like very aggressive thinness, like they were doing long division with their eyebrows. So this lash serum is definitely going to get them to where their lash line is the brow line.
Brow line, you mean, right? I think you accidentally said lash a few times.
Yeah, the brow line. Yes. Yes, brow. You absolutely can use this on your brow line as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yes, because thick brows are coming back in style.
Absolutely.
Not unibrow, just thick brows.
Oh, I don't know. Even unibrows coming back in style. They're getting closer and closer.
I always want the plural when it comes to eyebrows.
Yeah.
Now, we got the hair show coming up in April, and you're actually going to be with us at the booth in Chicago, in Rosemont.
Yes, absolutely. We're looking forward to that. Me and another member of the team are going to be there on the sales floor to answer any questions, get people set up so that, if they want to get set up with Zenagen, it can ship right into their salon. We're going to have a few free gifts for people who decide to come on the Zenagen journey with us that we're going to give you that day. I'm not going to say what that is because I want you to come up to the booth and talk to me. But yeah, we're really excited. Working at the ABS show, this is my show that when I was a little baby hairdresser was my first hair show that I ever went to, and made in my neck of the woods. So I really, really, really am excited about getting some Zenagen traction and footage here in the Chicagoland area because I think it's a really great product, and I'd really like to see the stylists here really be able to have that impact on their clients' lives using Zenagen.
And what part of the world do you live in, Chad? Are you in the Chicago area?
I am. I'm about an hour south of Chicago-ish, right in that. And I like to say I'm more Casey's and cornfields, Illinois, than big city and like that. So,
isn't it funny how we all have to make that distinction? He's in the Chicagoland area, but he is not part of the Chicagoland area. It's like, it's so funny because
same thing for me. Because I'm from the New Orleans area. I fly in and out of the New Orleans airport, but I don't live in New Orleans. I prefer a more country style living also, So I'm in Mandeville where I live on a few acres. So I like the land, the fun.
Chicago standards. Typically, when people ask me from here, they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm south of 80," and they look at me like, "Where's your banjo?" So it's there's a pretty stark cutoff. That's why the Chicago audience tends to think the South 80 folks on here. So
that's funny. So April 15th, 16th, and 17th is when we will all be in Chicago. So they already have quite a few tickets sold. It's going to be a pretty crowded show, but I think for the last few straggler hairdressers that have never heard of a hair show before, don't know about the Chicago Hair Show. It's always been one of my more favorites also. COVID kind of put a stop to a lot of hair shows and ended some completely. But I always imagined the three biggest hair shows in the country that I went to was always ABS in New York, Premiere in Orlando, and then it used to be the Midwest, which is now the ABS in the Chicago area. Those three were the biggest in the country. And just to kind of cover those three really quick, I always found the IBS in New York a difficult one because there were no hotels near the show. So it was really difficult. This was back in the days just before Uber. So getting a taxi was difficult. Getting on the bus was difficult. Getting to your hotel was difficult. It was one of the more difficult big hair shows to participate in, no matter who you are. And so it just drove me crazy in New York. Now, Premier Orlando is a lot of fun because of the warmer weather and the sun and everything. And it was a very large hair show. And so I always kind of put it on the same scale. It's like, hey, let's go up north and down south. And those were always my two favorite big hair shows. I did enjoy Premier Birmingham in Alabama as one of the more mid-sized shows, but last year was its last time there. And so it's gone. So the way you fell in love with the first Chicago hair show was how I fell in love with Premier Birmingham. And I went just this last year to check it out, thinking I might go back again with a product. And while I'm there, they said, this is our last year here. And I was like, oh. So now I got to say Chicago would probably be my most favorite hair show that still is alive. I like it.
And it's now, I like it now because we've actually returned back to where the ABS show started as the Midwest show back in Rosemont. So it's a little bit more intimate venue. It's not quite the monstrous venue that McCormick Center is. You know, you get lost in McCormick Center and miss the whole show just wandered around trying to find where you're at. But Rosemont, it's great for hotel. It's great for food. There's so much right around where the show is that whether you're working the show or whether you're attending the show, you're going to be able to find lots of stuff to keep yourself entertained.
The thing what I love about it coming back to Rosemont is that the focus is back on education, not on a flea market anymore. I've been very outspoken against the show for the past few years. And I think a big part of that was COVID. I think it put a lot of the people that weren't serious in a lot of ways out of business for the better. I think a lot of big companies that just popped up into the business with their little try this, try that, try to sell hair extensions, try to sell a hair growth product, try to sell jewelry. And they were kind of put out of business and because it was tough through COVID. And also, I think coming back, a lot of hairdressers that weren't serious about being hairdressers also couldn't make it through COVID if they didn't have good, solid clients that would stick with them through it. So we got rid of the non-serious stylists, the non-serious companies. And this part I like, but it's a little sad for them. The big companies, the very large companies like Matrix or Farouk, who would rent probably spend $400,000 or $500,000 on a booth and rent something that looked like they had their own hair show within the hair show. The hair shows don't really bring enough numbers for those guys to come back yet, which I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying the new start of, hey, it's more like a hair show and education instead of some New York stage production. You know, it's not Broadway at the hair show where they're just cutting hair for fun, throwing hair around, bringing people to a big crowd, and then they're trying to do the New Orleans Mardi Gras thing, throwing things in the crowd. And you're right, Eddie. It was more for, and that's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. And I know hairdressers love it. It has its place. It has its place as long as it's balanced with education. That's the point of going to a hair show. You want to get inspired. You want to get turned on and be motivated by seeing the wow. But then you want to learn something. You want to take something away. You don't just want to, so now I love it because there's no more people walking around with their luggage. You know, there's no more luggage shopping. So, and I love that, right? No, I love it so much. Look, we've rented our own private education classroom for the entire weekend. We're teaching all 3 days at the show. We've never rented a classroom. The classroom, how it works is every company uses the same classroom and you just go on a rotation. So 1 hour you come in, then you clean up, you move out, and the next company comes in and they move in, they do their class, and then they move out. We've got our own classroom for the entire weekend. We spent money on that. That's how excited I am about the education.
Do you happen to know the days and times that Chad and I will be in a classroom?
You know
On what
what?
days?
I'll pull it up
Because
right now, actually.
for the few people that might see this and right before the show, because I know our numbers of viewers tend to grow in the weeks after today as they search hair loss or hair replacement or losing my hair. But we'll have a small group of people that are going to watch this between now and then, or even watching now.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to come see me with on-stage hair extensions or Chad with Zenagen in a private room, do you know what times
So
we're
this
on?
is the nice thing about it. Both of yous are back to back.
You.
But
What's
the,
a utes?
the two Utes, the two Utes. Saturday, Bernard, you're at 1:15, and then Chad, you're at 2:30.
In a private room, 1:15 and 2:30. And do you know, is there a name to the room?
Yeah, it's room. Okay, so the classroom is 22, and
Room 22.
Room 22. On stage is doing the latest in hair extensions technology from 1:15 to 2:15. And then Chad, you're doing, and you're after I give all the times for Sunday and Monday, you're gonna have to explain what becoming a hair loss specialist is all about. But you're doing 2:30 to 3:30. Saturday is a little bit of a shorter day, so we're only doing a 1 hour presentation on Saturday. But then Sunday and Monday are full days. So we're doing
both in room 22. Me at 1:15 and him at 2:30.
You at 1:15 and him at 2:30. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And then
on
Sunday,
Saturday. Is it the same on Sunday and Monday?
it's different.
Oh, okay.
So Sunday and Monday are the same times for both of yous.
Okay.
And Sunday and Monday, because they're full days, it's an hour and a half. Instead of just a 1 hour,
Okay.
it's an hour and a half. So Bernard, you're at 11:45.
I know I have an email on this, but I'm writing it down right now.
I got you. Chad, you're at 1:30.
Perfect.
So again, it's back to back.
Again in room 22.
Oh, it's our room. That's what I'm saying. We put up
But
a
they
lot of
don't
money
have
just to
names.
get that
You know,
one room.
a lot of these conventions have like the Magnolia room, the something room. It just has a
yeah,
number.
we are in the bestest learning classroom out of the whole show. That's the name of our classroom.
No, they don't. Usually conference rooms are named instead of numbered.
Okay,
I'm surprised.
Here's the thing. So when you're at the show, to get to the classrooms, you go up an escalator, and then now you're on the floor with the classrooms, right?
Okay,
So
they're all
our
separate
classroom,
from the show.
It's in a separate section from the show. So you go out the door, you go up the escalator. The escalator's right there, so it's really easy to navigate. So you go up the escalator, and as soon as you get off the escalator, there's our room. It's right there.
Okay.
So you can't miss it. We're literally right there as soon as you get off the escalator.
And on the showroom floor, do you know our booth number?
1001.
Really?
Yeah. So
1001.
and that's super easy to navigate as well too, because when you're on the show floor, when you're walking down the aisle to get to the main stage, the aisle, the intersection to turn to get to the main stage, we're right there at the intersection.
Okay.
So we're super close, to that intersection going to the main stage as well. Yeah. So as far as convenience of where we're located, it's super easy.
You want Chad to speak to what they're going to be talking about in the classroom?
What's the program you guys are talking about? The title is Becoming a Hair Loss Specialist. What is that about?
So what we're going to do in our class session is we're going to do a deep dive on the what, why, and how Zenagen works, so that when you leave that classroom, your client will be able to sit in your chair, tell you what's going on with their hair loss and how they're feeling about it. And you'll have the confidence and the knowledge to know exactly what system to use, how long they should use it, and the results that they should be able to expect within a reasonable amount of time. So we really want to make sure that our stylists understand that Zenagen is just not a shampoo and condition to make your hair nice. We really work at the level of creating a scalp that is so healthy that better hair can't help but grow out of it. So we really want to make sure that we take the time that the stylists that are in our session understand the technology and how we utilize that technology to get the results that we do get.
That's interesting.
Is that a certification or is that a class?
They will actually become Zenagen certified stylists when they leave our session. So I will be printing up certificates that everybody will leave our classroom with when they do leave, so that they can go back and, and then they have something to show their clients. Look, I've taken this extra knowledge, I've taken these extra steps. Now we can really get to solving the root cause of your hair loss issues. No, every pun intended right there as well. So.
and we're giving credit hours for all of the classes too.
Yes, which is huge because, we all need our CEUs here in Illinois. We've got to keep our licenses up. So that's another bonus, because you're not just coming to a class that doesn't, not that every class isn't valuable educationally, but, when you're in a renewal year, you really want to make sure that you're getting those hours so you can keep your license up to date.
Yeah, I was able to negotiate that with the show too. So we will be giving out credit hours for all of our
That's
classes
awesome.
that we're teaching. Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
Well,
what else? Did I miss anything else?
Did we miss anything? It was good.
That's the hour, man. We flew through the hour.
I know. I looked at the time and I was like, okay.
That went pretty quick.
Yeah, it went really quick.
Well, that's the fun of it. Like when you're just having a conversation about stuff and it's a good topic to talk about, it's fun to talk. Look, I don't know, man. Every week, Bernard, we fly through the hour. That's how I feel about it,
Yeah, because it's fun. Yeah, because we're having fun. We're still liking this job.
Yes.
Call it a job. Right.
No, I really appreciate it, Chad, coming on and spending the day with us. That's awesome. People who may have additional questions, I put the Zenagen link in the description for today's live stream.
Yes.
So that's the best way to contact. Did you go to Zenagen and fill out the contact form?
Yeah, our website is really, really comprehensive. You can go and look up any of our products. It'll give you the full ingredient breakdown of any products. We've got frequently asked questions. If anybody really has serious questions they need help with right away, chad@zenagen.com is my email. I really put my email out there for the stylists out there because, their success is my success. So I really try to make myself as accessible as possible for those questions that come up behind the chair.
Awesome.
That's good.
All right. And then,
Thank you so much, Chad.
if anybody's
You're
got
very
any
welcome. It was a
comments, or
pleasure.
anybody's got any additional questions, hit us up below. Check out Zenagen.com, Chad@Zenagen.com, and we'll go from there. We'll catch you all next week.
Like,
Thanks for watching.
subscribe, comment.
Oh, you got it.